Proceed, Honorable Wangari.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And from the onset, allow me to congratulate Honorable Moeu of Gatanga for bringing this very important issue on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, we have for the first time are seeing children from primary schools being sent home for fees. It has never happened. You walk in the streets and you find a child and you ask, why are you not in school? They have been sent home for small monies in primary schools. And this, Madam Speaker, you can actually be able to see we have a big problem. And you know the way JSS was structured, it was initially meant to go to secondary schools. And if it went to secondary schools, then they would have gotten proper capitation as it is in the normal secondary school, Madam Speaker. But today, these children are 11-year-olds on the streets, not going to school, and they cannot raise that 3,000, they cannot raise that 4,000 that is being asked to be able to provide food and other necessities in the school. Madam Speaker, what this means, we are joking with a very serious issue and actually precipitating a crisis in our country, because we are talking of an 11-year-old or 12-year-old who is not able to access education. And Madam Speaker, what that is doing, as I said yesterday, you have children, especially girls, being lured to early marriages, to early pregnancies, to defilement cases, because they do not have the food and they don't even have sanitary towels. Madam Speaker, if we cannot provide food and sanitary towels for our kids, then we are failing as a nation. Madam Speaker, this issue of capitation, even the small capitation of over 1,400 that has been put in this motion, even that one is not forthcoming, is not on time, and we have allocated the money in the budget for JSS. I have some schools in my constituency and I can actually sample a few, Madam Speaker. I have Kigogo Primary, I have Mbegi Primary, I have Olesirwa Primary, I have Dhome. I even have a special school called Gilgil Special School that has not so far received the small capitation from the Ministry of Education. Madam Speaker, we not only need to relook the way the NGCDF is wired, but more importantly, actually, the money that should go to JSS should come from the Ministry of Education. The money we are doing and giving as bursaries, Madam Speaker, is never enough, especially for the ones that are big constituencies, Madam Speaker, like mine. You get 11,000 or more applications, and the money you give is to maybe 3,000, 5,000, all the way maybe to 7,000, and you're giving a maximum of 3,000 shillings for day secondary schools, Madam Speaker. If we add another burden, then we will need to open up the brackets. The maximum that has been set as 35% is not sufficient to cover our day schools, to cover our secondary schools, and also cover JSS, Madam Speaker. That means we are struggling with a generation. And Madam Speaker, this problem also between the TSC and the Ministry of Education must actually be addressed. And I had the seconder talk about it, because at the constituency level, you are having a problem of who is issuing orders or directives in the schools. Is it the Ministry of Education official or chair or constituency rep, or is it the TSC, especially on the running of schools and the teachers, Madam Speaker? This confusion is not helping the already bad situation and must be addressed from the cabinet level. Madam Speaker, I want to support this motion and actually hope that we can be able to actually look at JSS the way it should be, because we have now gotten teachers in some schools, not all of them, but the capitation issue must be looked at per child, so that we are able to ensure that every child is not sent home. Parents already struggled to get their kids to JSS. And you remember the issues we had that time. They needed new uniform, they needed desks, they needed all manner of things when reporting. And Madam Speaker, I've seen parents struggle to buy these things. And then they are told they need to pay fees. They come to CDF, we tell them we do not fund primary schools. That confusion, Madam Speaker, is actually going to bring a serious issue, a generational issue, and we are going to lose very many children. That's why you're seeing the transition this time and this year has not been as good as it's been in the other years, Madam Speaker. So I support this motion, and I hope that we can actually get to the implementation. The implementation committee should be able to pick it up immediately, so that we have a report in this house very soon to be able to know what have we done, because I have no doubt we will actually pass it in this house, because it's very important and cross-cutting in all the constituencies. But implementation of motions, that is where the problem is. Let the committee of implementation take it up, bring a report to the house.
Thank you very much, Honorable Martha Wangari. The Honorable Dorothy Ikiara, nominated member.